Hockey is definitely life growing up, for sure. Everything would be based around like hockey tournaments, hockey schedules, hockey practice. What's going on with hockey? Oh, can we go to a Red Wing game hockey? I mean, everything was always hockey.
So many of the dads around here grew up that way that they want their kids to have that same experience.
Here we go. You're almost alienated if you don't play. So I think my initial interest was because I felt alienated at school, because I was, even in kindergarten, I remember being the only guy not talking about a game or not talking about practice.
I think there are 160 or 170 high schools that play hockey in Michigan now.
A lot of other areas, kids might want to get to the NHL. In this town, they want to play on the high school team.
The rivalry between Trenton and Catholic Central has probably gone on since the 60s, 1960s.
They were usually two of the best teams in the state.
Both schools are continually hockey powerhouses in Michigan, and since they're both located in the Detroit area, it's only natural that they'd be fierce rivals.
If you go into our gymnasium, you will find 42 state championship banners. 13 of them are in hockey. There's no question that hockey is a great draw to our school.
Catholic Central was founded in 1928 by the Basilian Fathers, the Order of the Basilians, who have instilled a motto of goodness, discipline, and knowledge over that entire period. We draw from 89 different zip codes within the Metro Detroit area, so we get quite a different demographic amongst the student body.
Mary, alma mater.
Every practice starts with a prayer. Every game starts with a prayer. That faith, that belief system is in place the whole time. There's Christian ways to make body checks.
Catholic Central, they come in vast numbers. They intimidate people. Most teams cower a little bit when Catholic Central comes into town. Trenton hockey doesn't cower from anyone. Since the state tournament began, Trenton has always been there.
Since 1975, there's 12 state championship banners hanging in our rink.
I don't know if you could have any more tradition in any other sport in any other community than we have here with our hockey team.
It's just a medium-sized public school downriver, closed campus. You have to have an address in Trenton to go to Trenton High.
We're just one town with, just our kids that live here and go to school here.
We're from 6.4 square miles. We haven't got an open school district. Year after year, we put out great teams, championship teams in the state of Michigan, and they're still from 6.4 square miles.
Back in 1999, there was not a bigger rivalry in the state than Trenton and Catholic Central.
With the exception of one loss to Trenton earlier in the year, we were undefeated. So we wanted to avenge the loss. And of course, Trenton wanted to beat us twice in 1 year.
It was a typical Trenton Catholic Central game. There were probably a couple thousand people just jammed into the Kennedy Rec Center.
Catholic Central jumped out to a lead, and they went up 4-1, and we made a great comeback. We had 3 goals to tie it with about 5 minutes left.
Trenton ties the score at 4. Just when you thought there was no hope, Trenton's back in this game.
Puck was in the Catholic Central end. They broke out. They're coming up the left-hand side.
One of our players was checked by a Trenton player, and he actually went head over heels. It was almost a somersault.
His skate caught Kurt Letarte in the neck.
Kurt started to go towards the play, but then, turned back towards the bench, and we exchanged the defenseman.
Kurt was coming onto the bench, and he was kind of holding the side of his face and his neck, and he says that the kid's boot hit me in the chin. He says, I think my chin is cut.
He, moved his head to the side, and, we could see the wound along his neck.
It was clean and straight, like surgical. And when I tipped his chin, it just gapped open really wide and just started to pour blood.
There was so much blood on their bench that it would just immediately the referees blew the whistle and the game was stopped right then and there.
And there was chaos and people screaming for help.
What happened here? Oh, we got a problem here. Hold on.
Trenton was wearing its home white jerseys, okay? And his jersey wasn't white anymore. I mean, it was red from top to bottom.
When Kurt got hurt and the crowd finally realized what happened, it was like being at a rock concert and having the plug pulled. I mean, you could hear a pin drop.
They asked our Brazilian priest to come on the ice and say prayers for both teams.
All the players, knelt on that one end and, basically were praying to make sure Kurt's going to be safe.
The kids were praying on the ice. We were on the bench and we were doing the same thing.
They wheeled Kurt out to the ambulance and out of the building. All they told us was there was no guarantee he was going to live.
There was 4 minutes to go at the game. Gordy and I looked at each other and said, I don't think we can continue this.
They agreed right there on the ice, center ice almost. They said, let's call it a tie. And that's how they ended it.
The first thing I said to my son after was, thank God it wasn't you. I don't know what I'd have done. And then the second thing I said was, when you get a moment to yourself, say a prayer for this kid. Hockey doesn't matter. Hockey doesn't matter at all now.
And all those kids are like your own. So the first chance that I had to tell my own, see how he was doing, how he was feeling, told him I loved him.
Somehow you can't help but feel you're sharing the responsibility of everything that's going on. And it was hugely emotional.
WRIF, Detroit, Drew and Mike.
Along comes Gatorade with their Replay the Series feature, and what do you know? 11 years later, we're going to finish this game.